Hi, hi, Sarosh. Good morning. Hi, all.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So the Kiran is joining, or can we start?
Uh, I think I can start now.
Okay. Yeah. So last time we have seen this SPL configuration and SPL transactions, right? So
Yes.
the next one is like the material product classification we used to say. So basically, when the material is created in R3, so when we transfer the material from R3 to GTS, it is called as a product. So what is the difference between the material and the product in GTS is? So material is material with the description, okay, unit of measure, and other GTS related properties. So together is called as a product in the GTS master or GTS system. Product master is it's nothing but is a description of a material and unit of measure of material and other GTS related properties. So what are the GTS related properties is we have a product classification, legal control, okay. So we have a restitution, we have a preferential calculation. So just to open the system also simultaneously, we have preferential calculation. So we have a classifications. Okay, we have LOC data. So there are some data which are related to only specific PGTs. So along with this properties and description of material and unit of measure is called as a product. So now if you see, so legal control. So what is this legal control is? In R3 we have created one material. In R3 we have created that MM team will create one material in R3. So when they create either using the external number range or internal number range, they will be getting one number, right? It's like for example M-100 or it can be R100 or it can be something, some other material, T2000 something. What is this number? So this is a number to represent the material in your system, in your R3 system. But the same material when you transfer to GTS, is there any change in the material when you transfer the material? No, right?
No.
So then why a product is required? Why we are not calling this as
Material.
why we are not calling this as a material and why we are calling this as a product? See, I will just tell you example. Okay, so I'm just going for a material here. So you know that legal corporate is a transaction to go to the corporate. Here, go to the product master. It's a product. So based on the material, we'll take another material. M-16. Okay, so general data is nothing but your unit of measure, description, and this confirmation. This is nothing but customs data, classification data, legal control data, provincial and special status, special custom process. So if I go for a legal control data, you can see here, right hand side specifically for each and every process, there is one number assigned. Okay, I will just come here. So what is this number basically? What is this number is? This number is nothing but, so when you transfer any material from R3 to GTS, the number will be created. The product number is also created with the same number. But to declare the material to the customs, so they may not understand the description of this material. MI-16 is the custom, they don't know what is this MI-16 because this is something which you given for your system, or which was given to represent a material in your system. But the same material, if you send to the customs, they don't understand. So for that purpose, we have a common nomenclature across all the customs. So what is the nomenclature is? It's called as a product classification. So if you have, let's say for example, MR emissions. Okay, so you have created 1,000 MR emissions. Okay, 1,000 MR emissions you have created. So in SCP, how do you represent this 1,000 MR emissions? So both are with the same number, right? But how do you represent the same with 1,000 in the system? Like for example, the MR emission number is M100. So how do you represent this MR emission as 1,000 quantity in the system? In R3, like for example, there are 1,000 MR emissions you created, and do you create 1,000 M-100 materials in the system?
No.
But how do you differentiate? Okay, so I'll just put another example. There are some X-ray emissions. So this is some example M-101. So these are also 1,000 in number. So how do you differentiate these two in the system? Let's say there are 1,000 MR emissions and 1,000 X-ray emissions in the system. So you created M-100 for MR emissions and M-101 in the X-ray emission. But how do you differentiate this 1,000 in the quantity? So there is a concept here in the system R3 as a serial number. You know that one, serial number?
Yes, yes.
So MI101 plus this is one mission. In the same way, MI100 with 2 is another mission. So in that way, you will represent 1,000 MR emissions with the serial number concept. The same way, for example, when you transfer a material from MI100 to a GTS, and in the GTS, so you have to declare this at a custom saying that this is a MR emission. So how the customs will understand this is a MR emission? If you send this as MI100, they cannot understand because it's a nomenclature you have given. So in order to make sure that the MR emission is named in such a way that the customs can understand, there is one concept called as a product classification, which is a universally accepted nomenclature. So if you go for US, the nomenclature will be with 5 characters. This is in US. Okay, and the same thing if you go for Germany, okay, so this is 10 characters. And if you go for Japan, this should be in 11 characters. Okay, so there are some other countries like Indra start reporting. There are some other countries. This country to country, there it will vary. Normally these three are important, especially because at the customs for US, when you are exporting from US, they have to define this special characters or product classification with 5 characters. So there they will be defining that, okay, the first letter is like, for example, if it is 3 or 4. Okay, for example, it is 4. So when you assign this 3A101, so that means they can understand that this is a MR emission. If you are assign 4D999, they can understand that this is X emission. So whatever the material number you generated in your RTA doesn't relevant, it is material for the customs. So they only consider this for their classification purpose. So from now onwards, so this classification is important for us for understanding whether this material belongs to which category, okay, and any license is required to export to a particular country or not. So what we have seen till now is your embargo check. What does embargo means?
Specific to country screening.
Yeah, it's a country level check. So here the country level check in sense, it will just see the importing country, whether that particular importing country is legally banned or it is allowed. So that is country level check. Then further bifurcation is SPL check. It's a business partner check. Whether the ship to business partnership to is allowed or not is not the country, but it is a ship to whom you are sending a material is allowed or not. So now what we are dealing is, we are dealing with item level check, which is nothing but a license. So what does it will tell? It will look for material. So when we have exported any material, so like for example, if you go for North Korea, so from South Korea to North Korea, if you want to export any nuclear materials, so there should be some licenses required. And in the same way, any ammunition material, if you are exporting from any part of the world to Mexico, so there is a license required. But if you are selling military materials, a license is required. Or if you are selling civil materials, like for example, if you are selling some iron, so in that case, license is not required. Or if you are selling some cotton, so license is not required. How system will identify that iron ore license is not required, and for military materials or ammunition materials a license is required? So that is differentiated between the item. So for example, if you have an iron ore as M-999, the same thing we have one more material called M-888. So let's say for example this is iron and this is something as ammunition material. So as per our product classification, so we will be assigning them, so whatever the material we created and exported or transferred to the GTS, there should be some number assigned. So that is the product classification. So for example, we have assigned one number here, which is 2F123, and here also we have assigned, so 5G14124. So based on this, the customs will identify, okay, for this material 2F123, it belongs to the iron ore or iron content, so it's not required to exactly get the license. But the same material or same customs, when they come to the M-888 using this 5G124, so they will identify, okay, this belongs to ammunition material, which is a military material, and this requires a license to export. But who will give this number, or how to differentiate this number? So this number will be provided by exporting country customs. Okay. So who will be giving this number? This will be given by exporting country customs, and for US it will be 5 characters, and for Germany it will be 10 characters, Japan it's 11 characters. Like that, there are some special characters each and every country should follow, but will be provided by your customs departments.
This will be predefined for country to country already in system, or it will change and keep on.
No, this will be from US. It will be always 5 characters. When you are dealing with the US, it will be always 5.
Okay.
When you are dealing with Germany, it is always 10 characters you are choosing.
Okay.
So this number is called as a product classification. This number is called as a ECCN number. This export control classification number. If you are dealing for exports, it's called export control classification. If you are doing for imports, it is called as a import control classification. So are you clear on this part? So what is the ECCN number? How the product classification is happening?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just open one of the PPT which contains some information. Yes, see here. This is nothing but a unique identification. So, identification of a product while communicating to the customs authorities. So we understand that a number should be assigned to communicate with customs authorities. So import and export control classification numbers of the product. So we will be classifying the materials. So for export there will be one number range, and for import there will be one number range. So both numbers will be given by the customs. So these are the legal requirements in the customs communication. Indicates whether a material is permitted or the item is permitted to export or import, and any license is required. So these two are the special functions of your classification. So classifying the product by the basic data, export import classification number, customs tariff, and community code. Okay, I'll explain these two also. We have seen this basic data, import and control classification, export control. So these two I will tell you. So SAP classification tool is the classification what we are doing here using the SAP is one kind of a tool which will be useful to reduce the manual work and consistent and correct classification of your products. Regular updating of your data using the product reclassification. So what is this reclassification? Let's say for example, after 1 year, so the number was changed by the customs. What we have to do? We can reclassify the material. Okay?
Okay.
So prerequisites is numbering schema should be there for export list and import list. So there should be one numbering schema. So process flow is export import classification list will be normally given by your customs authorities that we can upload manually into the system, or it can be automated through XML upload. So XML is nothing but a special format which will be given into the application directory of your JTS. So you have any idea on this application directory? AL11 transaction?
Yes, directly.
Yeah, so directly they will be uploading into the AL11. From there it will be taken here.
Okay.
So assignment of export and import control classification to relevant products. So once the number is there, So number is given by the customs, so that customs a number we are maintaining into the system. So once a number is available in the system, we have to assign this to your material, specific material. So that, for example, we have a 5 number ranges. So 1 2 let's say, as I said, 3D 1 2 3 4, or 5F 1 2 3 4, or 4G 1 2 3 4. So each belongs to different class of materials. So this number has to be assigned to specific material. So that is a assignment. And then reclassification, like for example, after 1 year, as I said, the validity of your number was expired, or the customs has rechanged the number. So then again, you can reclassify the number using the tool. Okay. So import control classification numbers indicate whether we need a license or not. Both. ECCN can be assigned to our products manually or through XML, and ICCN also same. So when we export a product, freight forwarder or delivery service provider requires an ECCN to complete the shipper export declarations. So basically, without the ECCN number, they will not, or you cannot communicate the material properties to the customs. So when you send any material, or when you submit the declarations, it is a mandatory that every material should require the ECCN number. So whether the license is required or not, that is secondary. But first of all, a material should be classified to communicate to the customs. So US has a 5 characters for ECCN number, and it is the examples I have given here, and ICCN number is 11 characters. I'll just put here. So the first character, there are 5 characters as I said. The first character is called as a chapter, and if you assign this for a 3, the first value is 3, then it is differentiated as electronic material. And the second letter is represented with the alphabets from A to E, and the validity, it's called as a validity hierarchy level. And if you say D, it is called as a data processing. And last 3 characters can be from can vary from 000 to 999, which is called as the ECCN number. So if you see 102, it is called as a technology or software material. So if you assign 3D 102, so then you are saying that this material belongs to a software material. Okay.
So one doubt, like one material might be exporting to multiple countries, you know, like 10, maybe 50, 20, 60, all the part of the world. So we need to configure all those classification depending on each country's to this, correct?
No, this is at export level. So when you are exporting,
yeah, that's what exporting. Let's say from our country is the main hub of manufacturing. From here, let's say from China, there might be exporting the same kind of product to different customers, different part of the world, like US, Europe, and Africa. Just an example I was telling. So each country wise, this will be varying. No? You got my understood my question.
the licenses will be vary, but the classification will be same. See, for example, when you are exporting from US, so if you are exporting at a US customs, so even it is going for China or Korea, whatever the country, but it should go and first hit at the customs office of US.
Okay.
So there it will be common. If there you will identify like whether the material is classified or not. So if it is exporting from US to Korea or India, whatever the country, it is immaterial for them. So as per the customs of US, it should have the 5 characters. They will see whether they have the 5 characters or not.
Okay.
Then later what will happen is, so if you are exporting from US to Korea, so then they will identify, okay, with this number, if you are exporting for the Korea, whether license is required or not. See, this number is nothing but how we have a MIFN16 or MIFN100 or whatever the material number, the customs will know this is a material of a software, or this is a material of hardware, or this is a material of iron, or this is a material of plastic, like this. Only to identify what is that material, because the customs may not understand the description of your material in your R3 system. So if you say it's a polymer, if you say polymer, or if you say it's a laptop, okay, so the customs, they cannot understand if it's a laptop or software material or some, it's not relevant for them. So they will be knowing the material, or they will be defining the material based on the ECCN number only.
Okay.
So further in the system, when we are differentiating, we will be just finding the license only for the ECCN number.
Okay.
So we can upload these numbers using the XML format, and we can also do it manually. Okay, so as I said, the classification numbers, I will just give you another example here. ECCN number, ICCN number, and we have a CAP numbers. Okay, so we have a SGS code and we have a commodity code. We also have FDA codes. So ECCN number is export control classification number, CAP number is common agricultural product, HTSS, tariff code, this is a commodity code. FTA is nothing but it is so when you are exporting a material which is food and drug association, food materials or agriculture of any drug association materials, so there will be FDA number has to be assigned. So if you are importing any material, it's a customs, so then it will be SGS code. Exporting is commodity code. So these two will be useful for license classification, and these two will be useful for customs declarations. And if you are doing for common agricultural materials, like for example sugar or sugar cane or jaggery, if you are exporting, or any beverages or any kind of eatables, which are agricultural products like paneer, milk, dal, anything, then there will be some CAP number. Mainly this CAP number is applicable only in the European countries. Okay, so these are the different codes, or these are the different classifications that we have to define in the system. So okay, for example, now what I will do is I will take. Do you remember any material? Did we create any material in the system?
Yeah, this.
In my fund 16, there should be some other material. Huh? In my fund 11. Huh?
Not created as facilitators. Some 38, I think. Is,
We created the data.
It was there existing.
Okay. Okay, so this is there. So we will classify this material. So for this, what we understand is the configuration is, first of all, we have to create a numbering schema. I'll just go for SPRO. Global date service. It's compliance management. Okay, channel settings first of all. In this, we have a numbering schemas. So we have these many numbering schemas. One is OGA code, tariff code, export control, import control, commodity, FDA code, access duty, CAP number. So these are the different. So when we are doing for ECCN, just click export list. It is nothing but ECCN. So as we understand, the numbering schema should be, I will just copy this. I will say it's okay. So here it's a ECCN number. Copy all. The structure. So the structure should be, the first character is what? What is the first character? Is not character. new entries, level 1. This is chapter 1. We have not saved after deleting. Okay. Go for second level. Second level again one character, exact length. What is this? Validity. Third section. This is from range to range. After validity we have ECCN. So this is an format that what we want. Okay, so first is chapter and second is validity and third is ECCN. So these are all articles according to the manual required. So now we have to assign this numbering schema to the legal regulation. So what is the legal regulation in the GTS? It's nothing but legal regulation will control the rules regulations for both export and importing countries. So that is assignment to this legal regulation. Now we are going for ECCN number. So let's say for example we have this license for exporting. What is that we created? For this is number. If you are doing for export, you have to assign here, and if you are doing for import, you have to assign this here. Save. So now what we have to do is just go to the material master. Go to the maintain product. Classification. So we have seen this number. So LEC use right. Okay, so before this, I think we have to create the number. So we have just created numbering schema, but the number we have not created in the classification. So we have to classify that number. ECCN number, export control classification number. We got to share. Classification. Okay, so now we are doing the export control classification number. For first of all, we are doing schema and we have to define the number. So how do you define? So just identify the numbering schema here. Maintain the number. First chapter. So what is the first number? We said we want first one as first character, right? And what is the description? Let's say for example, it is for telecommunications.
Okay.
Copy data. So after this, the next level should be.
Well,
The next level should be, for example, D or E. We will just see. After the telecommunications, what is the number? We will say, for example, it is processing, or you will say it is maybe it's, I will just say it is that is programming material, or it is a data value. Okay, it is so here in this. This is second level. Just say 4A and it is a data. I will put input data. Copy. You have to come back. So the first number is, I'll put 4. Okay, it's a copy of data. Then go to second level. Okay, see the second level. You can click on the ECC number. We'll put 00888 and say, okay, it is installation software. Now I'll just save this number. So if you go to the display of this number, get this numbering schema, you will find all the numbers. So one number is 4E88. So if you have this number 4E88, so that means the material whatever you assign this belongs to telecommunication material. Now what we will do is, now once we classify the material, we will go to the product. Go to the classification. So here we have to identify the legal regulation for, what is the number we identified here? So not this. So how you can identify here is, you have assigned one numbering schema to the legal regulation. So based on that legal regulation, you have to identify. So here, like for example, you created one legal regulation for your ECCN number, LVCS, legal regulation for license. So this is what you created. There are two, I think. Okay, so this is expired this. So based on this number, you have to create. I think they have created meaning. But normally what will happen is, you will be finding only one in the real time. So there will be only one legal regulation. That is what I told you, right? Legal regulation from export to import country always will be one. So here they created multiple. It is not required to assign all those things. Now just come back. Yes, see here, or based on the assignment, the system has found this. This is the number what we assigned.
Yeah, scheme.
Okay, so the system has identified this material and it was assigned here. This is the ECCN number. Okay, so now
Okay.
based on your legal regulation, when you are exporting a material, so the legal regulation will play a major role. So to that legal regulation, we have assigned the ECCN number. Now what system identifies? When we are communicating to the customs, this is okay. So this is the ECCN number or export control classification number. So this you are exporting from this US region. That's fine. So this is the classification that what we have to see. This is the first method. Okay.
Okay.
So then the next will be once the classification number is assigned, you have to assign this to your license. So that is the second one. License assignment will be second one. But now are you clear on this? What is this license or what is a legal control classification?
A bit confusing this part.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You still have a question on this?
Yeah. No, a bit confusing this configuration part of it.
No, configuration is, there is only limited configuration. The first configuration what we have to do is, in the numbering schema.
Yeah.
Numbering schema, you have to create one ECCN. If you are doing for ECCN, just click here. If you are doing for tariff code, you have to create, and you have to define for this will be created, right? As we understand, the structure is 5 characters per use. The first character, this is the first character, is chapter. The second character, it is for validity, and third character is for ECCN number.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the schema for so one schema is enough for all next configuration or different like initial screen different schema we need to create for each steps.
Now we have to create different schemas. For example, you're doing for telecommunication, the schema should be different because the number will be different, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay.
So once the schema is defined, you have to come here and assign the schema to your legal regulation configuration. So in the cockpit, you have to first define the numbering range. So you just created the numbering schema. So like in SD, what you are doing is you are just assigning the numbering number range you are assigning, but the number will be generated with the system, right? If it is external. But here it is external only because the system cannot understand what number it has to define.
Okay.
So that's why you are defining it here manually. Okay, so if you have the data already, you can upload using the XML format here. So this numbering schema, you have to not log, it's classification, XML file. So you have to put the data provider. So it's like, for example, MK Denial or something, MK International is providing this. So what is the numbering schema? 4A109 and the path number, path file, application layer, it's nothing but your A11. So this path, like for example, you have assigned this something. So the path you have to put here. Okay, so the path file you have to put here and the same. So this path will contain all the materials and all the numbers. The system will automatically go into the material and it will write everything into the classification number. So this is your numbering schema and data, how you have to do. No, stop. Is it done? Are you done with this? Now you understand
Yeah.
what is. So, because based on this only the legal control what we are defining has to happen.
Mhm.
Okay. So tomorrow we can start with the legal control. That's nothing but license number assignment.
Okay.
Okay. Just you go through this today. If you are
Yeah.
having some questions, maybe just you can ask tomorrow. We can
Yeah.
discuss it.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.